And we ended with, but leave her to her mighty self and fate.
Yeah.
So now you can begin.
He spoke and ceased and left the earthly scene, away from the strife and suffering on our globe. He turned towards his far off blissful home, a brilliant arrow pointing straight to heaven. The luminous body of the ethereal seer assailed the purple glory of the noon and disappeared like a receding star, vanishing into the light of the unseen. But still a cry was heard in the infinite, and still to the listening soul on mortal earth, a high and far imperishable voice chanted the anthem of eternal love.
Eternal love, divine love, Mother says, is the only thing that can change this world. Nothing else.
Mm.
And the advent of the supramental being will be one of eternal love and
Mm.
power, as we have discussed before.
Mm.
There's very little to talk about here, and except we have assailed the purple glory of the noon. To assail it to in a way to assault it, to go into it,
Mm.
to make an impact on it. But that's not the best definition of assail. I have three definitions, and none of them are quite what I would like to feel from here. Is that he went up so fast
Mm.
to that a brilliant arrow, you see, a brilliant arrow pointing straight to heaven.
Yeah, yeah.
And his luminous body just flies right up into it, assails the purple glory of the noon. You see, he leaves and then he disappears like a receding star, vanishing into the light of the unseen. And Sri Aurobindo tells us the unseen, with whom there can be no pragmatic relations, unseizable, featureless, unthinkable, undesignable by name, whose substance is the certitude of oneself, in whom world existence is stilled, who is all peace and bliss. That is the self. That is what must be known. And that is from the Mandukya Upanishad.
Okay.
So we have come to the end of Canto 2 of Book 6.
Yeah.
And we'll begin a new canto now.
Actually, it's also the end of the book 6.
Yes, it's end of the Book 6, exactly. The book 6 has how many cantos?
2 cantos.
And what are they?
The Book of Fate, no, the cantos are The Way of the Fate and Problem of the Pain. And the other one is
Yeah, you gave the second.
Word of Fate.
Yes, that's the first one.
Yeah, Word of the Fate.
It's the way of fate and the problem of
Problem
fate.
of Fate.
Good. So now we go to 463. Oh, and I think I messed it up. Didn't get it.
Actually, 463 is like a blank page because it says book 7 and book of yoga. And the next page, the next to next page is where they begin. So it actually starts at
465.
It's 465. Yeah.
Yeah, got it. And what is this book?
Book of yoga.
Yeah, give me everything.
Canto 1. Canto 1, the joy of union, the ordeal of the foreknowledge of death and the heart's grief and pain.
So we have here one of the longest titles
Yeah.
of all the cantos.
Okay.
So the joy of union tells us that Savitri is going to unite with Satyavan.
Yes.
But then there becomes the ordeal of the foreknowledge of death.
Yeah.
And along with that, the heart's grief and pain.
Mm.
We're going to go through all of that. It's so extraordinary.
Mm.
So let us begin then. A little concentration before we begin this book 7, the book of yoga.
Fate followed her for fate followed her foreseen immutable road. Man's hopes and longings build the journeying wheels that bear the body of his destiny and lead his blind will towards an unknown goal.
Mm. Yes, we do have that. Fate follows this unchangeable road. It's
Mm.
immutable.
Mm.
But on this road, man builds his hopes and his longings, sort of like journeying wheels.
Yeah.
It's very poetic, that bear the body of his destiny.
Mm.
So these journeying wheels are built by man's hopes and longings.
Mm.
And that carries him and bears his body of his destiny, the body of his destiny. They also lead his blind will towards an unknown goal.
Mm.
Because as Mother has often said, when we take new birth, generally we forget everything of the past. Very few can recall past births. And so it's a blind will, actually. It is a will, no doubt, but it's a blind will that leads us to a goal even that we don't even know about, an unknown goal.
Mm.
Interesting, huh?
Mm.
So fate follows this foreseen. It's a foreseen road.
Yeah.
It's immutable.
Yeah.
And man's hopes and longings build these journeying wheels that bear his destiny, the body of his destiny, and lead his blind will towards an unknown goal.
Mm.
Now, what happens?
His fate within him shapes his acts and rules. Its face and form already are born in him. Its parent, is it parentage or parent?
No, it's parentage.
Parentage.
A parent.
Its parentage is in his secret soul. Here, matter seems to mold the body's life, and the soul follows where its nature drives.
Have we done matter? I think so, huh?
I want to check.
Let's check, yeah. And then we have to check nature also and fate.
Fate we have.
Yeah.
Matter also I think we have, but I just wanted to check.
Yeah, I thought we had done it also.
Yeah. Yeah, we have done it.
And how
Nature
about
also I think we have.
we've done nature too, yes.
Yeah.
So we're
Because these are some of the words that comes often.
very often, yes.
Yeah.
So here he says matter seems to mold the body's life.
Mm.
Well, we are matter basically. Our bodies are matter.
Yeah.
And that matter seems to mold our life.
Mm.
We walk, we talk, we we work, we play. So all of these things, matter is seems to mold the body's life. And the soul follows where its nature drives. Well, this is only seeming that the soul should follow and matter should lead. It does in many people, of course, but there is overall this universal divinity that is overseeing all our efforts. And even those who seem to be most unconscious, the soul will eventually lead. But now it seems that matter is leading and the soul is following. So nature and fate compel his free will's choice. Well, if you compel someone to do them, you force them to do something. So nature and fate, we already know about nature because nature is, it's a force. But fate also is a force, and both of them compel the choice of our free will. And now we have to continue again and see what else happens.
Nature and fate compel his free will's choice, but greater spirits this balance can reverse and make the soul the artist of its fate.
How Sri Aurobindo so beautifully leads us into one. Says that this thing seems to be like this.
Yes. Yeah.
And it is okay. Truly it is for many people.
Yeah.
But greater spirits can reverse this balance.
Yeah.
And they can actually make the soul the artist of its fate. The mother says that while we are here on the earth, we are actually molding the karma for the future, as well as facing the karma of the past.
Okay.
Very interesting statement from Mother, very true. So that we know that our acts now are going to impact us in the next birth. So there we are. Yeah. So now we'll continue on because this is very important here.
This is the myth. This is the mystic truth our ignorance hides. Doom is a passage of our inborn foes.
No, Prema. Doom is a passage for
our.
Yeah, see, so different, huh?
Yeah.
Good.
I'll read again. Okay. This is the mystic truth our ignorance hides. Doom is a passage for our inborn foes. Our ordeal is the hidden spirit's choice. Anarchy is our
Ananke.
Ananke is our being's own decree.
Okay, so this is very powerful. This is the mystic truth that our ignorance hides. And what is that mystic truth? That doom is a passage for our inborn force. So even doom is a passage. Death is a passage also. And our ordeal, that means what we have to go through, is the hidden spirit's choice. But then we have the definition of Ananke. Would you like to read it?
Yeah.
Good.
Ananke. In Greek mythology, personification of compelling necessity or ultimate fate to which even the gods must yield.
And that's an interesting thing because that's not exactly what Sri Aurobindo. So let's continue with Sri Aurobindo's words.
1 second, Narad. I'll just.
Sure, take your time, always. We don't rush through anything in Savitri. Then actually, we're going to start the next line about Savitri herself.
Yeah. Ananke, the Greek mythology, personification of compelling necessity or ultimate fate to which even the gods must yield. Sri Aurobindo, the truth of karma has been always recognized in the East in one form or else in another. But to the Buddhist belongs the credit of having given it to the clearest and fullest universal enunciation
Sorry, you said having given it to. No, having given to it.
Having given to it. But the Buddhist belongs the credit of having given to it the clearest and fullest universal enunciation and the most insistent importance. In the West, too, the idea has constantly recurred, but in fragmentary glimpses, as the recognition of a pragmatic truth of experience, and mostly as an ordered ethical law of fatality set over against the self-will and strength of man. But it was clouded over by other ideas inconsistent with any reign of law, vague ideas of some superior caprice or some divine jealousy. That was a notion of the Greeks, a blind fate or inscrutable necessity, anarchy, or later the mysterious ways of an arbitrary, though no doubt an all-wise providence. From Essays in Philosophy and Yoga.
It is a kind of, it is a feeling of karma, isn't it? It gives us that feeling of karma. By the way, where is it here? Vague, not vague.
Vague ideas.
Vague. Good.
Vague.
Got to work on those V's, huh? Now we're going to go into Savitri's life here and see what happens.
All was fulfilled the heart of Savitri, flower sweet and adamant, passionate and calm, had chosen and on her strength's unbending road, forced to its issue the long cosmic curve.
Now here we have a little bit difference in the accent, if you will, or the feeling of that first line. That you could almost feel that there should be a comma after fulfilled.
Yeah.
But we read it like that, as if there's a comma.
Okay.
All was fulfilled. The heart of Savitri, flower sweet and adamant. So, see, so all was fulfilled. And then he begins to tell us about this heart of Savitri, which is flower sweet and adamant. Now, adamant is a very strong word here.
Yeah.
Because it means impenetrably, like a hard substance. Unshakable, inflexible, unyielding. All of these different things could be applied to adamant. Incapable of being broken.
Yeah.
because she made this choice.
Yeah.
Had chosen, had chosen, and on her strength's unbending road, forced to its issue, the long cosmic curve. Well, what is the issue? It's the ultimate result, the event or the outcome
Mm.
of something. So the outcome of this is going to be the challenge and conquering of death and bringing back Satyavan to the earth.
Mm.
So we know all of that because we've learned a little bit as we've gone along.
Yeah.
We don't know yet how
Yeah.
this is going to happen.
Yeah.
It's a long way to go. So this heart of Savitri that is so flower sweet and yet adamant, passionate and yet calm. Interesting. You see, these are almost opposing statements.
Yeah.
How can someone be passionate and still calm?
Yeah.
But Savitri can be.
Yeah.
And she had chosen. She had
Mm.
made this choice. She told her parents this. My father, it is done. She says, I have chosen, it is done.
Yeah.
So now she, on her strength's unbending road, she forces to its issue this
Mm.
long cosmic curve, which we've just talked about.
Mm.
Okay, now how is she going to do this? She has to go to meet Satyavan.
Yeah. Once more she sat behind loud hastening hooves, a speed of armored squadrons and a voice far heard of chariots bore her from her home.
Okay, we have a couple things to cover here, and I want to do those with you. So let me. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Okay. All right. Hastening.
Hastening.
There's no sound of the T.
Okay, hastening.
Hastening. Yes.
Hastening.
I wanted
Okay,
to be sure about that, and
got it.
so I am sure about it now. So then we have. Okay, she's sitting behind loud hastening hooves. What are these loud hastening hooves?
The horses.
The horses that are pulling her chariot.
Yeah.
Now we have a new word here for you. Squadrons.
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 And squadrons are like armed cavalry units.
Okay, like the sides of the.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a speed of armed squadrons and a voice far heard of chariots bore her from her home. So she's leaving the palace
Yeah.
and she's leaving all these people with whom she loved so deeply and who loved her so deeply.
Yeah.
She's going away.
Yeah.
And they bore her from her home. Now, a couchant earth, a couchant.
Narad, it's almost time, so maybe we put a pause there and I read it.
Oh yeah, it's time already. My goodness. Yes,
Because you
read
need
from.
to have
Read,
another call, no?
yeah, read from the beginning. We'll stop here. That's a good
Yeah.
place to.
Yeah, that's what I thought
Yes,
also.
good,
And actually, I had only practiced till there, so we've reached exact point.
excellent. Okay, so you're starting on the previous page.
Yeah. He spoke and ceased and left the earthly scene, away from the strife and suffering on our globe. He turned towards his far off blissful home, a brilliant arrow pointing straight to heaven. The luminous body of the ethereal seer assailed the purple glory of the noon and disappeared like a receding star, vanishing into the light of the unseen. But still a cry was heard in the infinite, and still to the listening soul on mortal earth, a high and far imperishable voice chanted the anthem of eternal love.
Good reading. Very nicely read.
And then we move to Book of Yoga, Canto 1. Fate followed her foreseen immutable road. Man's hopes and longings the journeys, build the journeying wheels that bear the body of his destiny and lead his blind will towards an unknown goal. His fate within him shapes his acts and rules. Its phase and form already are born in him. Its parentage is in his secret soul. Here matter seems to mold the body's life, and the soul follows where its nature drives. Nature and fate compel his free will's choice, but greater spirits this balance can reverse and make the soul the artist of its fate. This is the mystic truth of our ignorance hides.
This is the mystic truth. No of in there.
Oh, yeah. This is the mystic truth our ignorance hides. Doom is a passage for our inborn foes. Our ordeal is the hidden spirit's choice. Ananke is our being's own decree.
Let's end right there then, I think.
Okay, okay, yeah,
It's perfect.
okay.
Great. Then I'll see you on Monday. Namaste. You look much better. You look so much better.
Thank you.
And I'm pouring my love on you.
Always, always. Thank you so much and most welcome.
Bye.
Bye.